Welcome back to the final video before we take our SAT in March. Of course, I'm getting this uploaded for you guys for that last minute cram session, but we're going to be going over 30 problems of mixed review, full SAT review. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm just going to be going through these full uncut, full unedited for you guys. Let's go ahead and get started. So a building contractor has a pickup truck with a rear storage area in the shape of a rectangular prism with a length of 80, width of 60, height of 44, and we want to fill them with equal size rectangular prism bricks with length of 8, width of 4, and height of 2. How we can solve this one? We need to find the volume of both of them. Remember, volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. So the 80 times 60 is 4,800, and then we are going to do 4,800 times 44. That is 211,200, and now we are going to find the volume of the bricks and then divide this number by that. So 8 times 4 is 32, times 2 is 64. So now we're just going to divide 211,200 by 64 to find our answer, and that is equal to 3,300. Okay, on to our next question here. We have two functions. What is the value of this composite function? So first, we're going to go to function g, and where the x value is -4, we're going to find the corresponding y value, which is -4. So now we're going to go with f, graph f. When x is -4, the y is +8. So that means the value of that is equal to 8. On to this next question. What polynomial equation could represent this graph? We need to look at our zeros here. We have one at -1, which is x plus 1, and since it just touches, that would be represented by x plus 1, this factor squared. And then we have this 0 right here, +5. That would be represented by the factor x minus 5. We're just looking for something along the lines of this, and we can see that answer choice A matches that completely. On to question number 4. Given equation is true for all variables where A and B are constants, which of the following is the value of B? So what I would do, go ahead and FOIL out this side. 3y times y is 3y squared. 3y times a is plus 3ya. And then we have minus 2y minus 2a. And then this equals 3y squared plus by minus 24. So according to these values, minus 2a is the c, and this must be equal to -24. So that means, based off of that, a is equal to 12. We're trying to find the value of b. Let's replace a with 12, so that means that this is now equal to plus 36 minus 24. So 36y minus 2y, that's 34y, and that is equal to plus by, so that means b is equal to 34. C is the correct answer. Okay, we have this graph right here, an equation of this quadratic. Which of the following are two solutions to the systems of equations formed by this equation and the line y equals 1/2 x plus 3? You could just graph it on this plane, but to be more precise, I would graph this quadratic in Desmos and graph the linear equation in Desmos as well. So we have y equals 1/2 x plus 3, and we also have the y squared plus 2y equals 15 plus x, y squared plus 2y equals 15 plus x, and the intersections are where we're going to have our solution. So that is 0, 3 and -12, -3. 0, 3 and -12, -3, that is answer choice C. On to our next question. We have a systems of equation. Tickets for a concert with $5 for each child and $8 for each adult. So real quick here, dollars, they are all the same unit. They need to be in the same equation. So we need 5c plus 8a equals 1,730. That is only answer choice A and answer choice B. And now we can see at one of the concerts, each adult brought 4 children with them, and 10 children attended without an adult. So that means that an additional 10 children on top of the 4 children per adult attended. So that would be plus. So that means answer choice A is correct here. Which of the following is equivalent to this? We're just going to factor this quadratic, which two numbers add to multiply to negative 10 and add to positive 3. This would be positive 5 and negative 2. So that means the factors are simply x plus 5 parentheses and then x minus 2, which matches answer choice B. On to question number 8. We have a table, and we're asked a random sample of 53 students at our college how much they would pay for a chocolate bar. The results are summarized based on this information. Approximately how many of the 8,800 would pay at least $1? So would pay at the very least $1. So that means that this is the count of the 53. So we're going to go ahead and add all these up. 23 plus 2 is 25, plus 9 is 34, plus 2 is 36. So this is 36 out of the 53. We're going to go ahead and divide this. 36 divided by 53, then multiply that answer by the total number of students. So multiply that by 8,000 and 8,800, and we get 5,977. So that is closest to answer choice D. Alright, we have a systems of inequalities here. A bottle weighs 50 grams and holds up to 2 liters of liquid. A chemist filled the bottle with X grams of liquid ethanol and Y grams of liquid water. Ethanol has a density of 789 grams per liter. Water has a density of 1,000 grams per liter. The chemist wants the mass of the filled bottle to be less than 1,800 grams. Which of the following systems of equations best models the situation described? So we know that the bottle is going to weigh 50 grams automatically, so we are going to have to subtract 50 from our 1,800. That's why we're going to need less than 1,750. And then we can take a look here. Would it make sense for 789 times one number plus 1,000 y times one number to be less than or equal to 2? With amounts of grams, that would be a minuscule amount. That means the answer choice B is the only one that makes sense here and is the correct answer. Which of the following is the solution to this equation? We could subtract 9x to each side to get 6x, add 3 to both sides to get equals 4. Divide both sides by 6. We are just left with 4 over 6, which simplifies to 2/3. Answer choice C is the correct answer. A shipping route from Los Angeles to Honolulu is 1,946 nautical miles. Approximately how long is the route in miles? 1 nautical mile equals 1.15 miles. Let's go ahead and graph this out in a proportion. So we're trying to find X amount of miles, and then 1.15 miles have our units across from each other. Now we can multiply. We're going to do 1.15 times 1,946. That is equal to 2,237.9, which is approximately answer choice D. On to this next one. A function p has polynomial of t such that we have 4 of these factors. Okay, let's just find the zeros from these. We have 0 of 10, a 0 of 22, we have a 0 of negative 10, and a 0 of negative 20. So we need to see 2 x-intercepts on the left side and 2 x-intercepts on the right side as well. So that cuts out answer choice B. There are 3 on the right side for A. So answer choice A is most likely incorrect. Answer choice C is most likely incorrect. And answer choice D is definitely incorrect. It didn't say that there was a limit on the amount of factors, so answer choice A could actually be the graph. It shows x-intercepts at negative 20, negative 10, and 10 and 22. It looks to be another one there, but that is completely fine for this question. On to our next one. Gabriella opened a savings account with a $200 deposit. Each month she deposited an additional $50. After a year, she started making deposits and upgraded her account to earn compound interest. Which of the following best represents this? So we had that constant rate of increase over time for a year. So for only 12 months, that constant increase of $50 per month was there. It looks like A. Then after that, we started following an exponential curve, a slight exponential curve, because obviously that's what compound interest is. Answer choice A is the only one that makes sense in this scenario. On to this next question, an inequality. A particular commercial aircraft has a maximum payload. That means everything else has to be less than or equal to. That cuts out answer choice C immediately. Okay, maximum payload of that. And cargo weighing 7,000 kilograms. So we're going to have to subtract that automatically. If P represents the number of people on board, it looks like we're going to be adding here. Yep, so answer choice A is correct because each person there is, it's 100 kilograms of weight that we're going to have to add on to the starting amount of 7,000 kilograms. Okay, what is the value of x in this figure? We have we have congruent triangles here. With these congruent triangles, this angle is going to be equal to that angle right there. So that means the value of x is simply 55 degrees. Alright, we're trying to find the sum of these. To add fractions, we need common denominator. That means we're going to have to multiply the second fraction by y over y. It's going to turn into y squared over 14y. Now we can add and keep the denominators the same. It just looks like 3 plus y squared over 14y. We don't have to simplify past this. Answer choice D is the correct answer. Okay, we have two equations here. Y equals negative 3x. Then we have this rational one. Okay, all we're going to have to do is graph this into Desmos once again. So we have y equals negative 3x. And we have y minus 7 over 6 equals 3x squared plus x minus 5, all that divided by 2. And our two intersections are, well, we are just adding together the y coordinates. So we have 4 and we have negative 2. 4 plus negative 2 is equal to positive 2. So that means that 2 is the correct answer. Okay, here we can once again use the calculator to our advantage and put all of these in. Now this time, make sure to define what f of x is and what g of x is. So instead of doing y, we're going to say f of x equals 5 to the power of x. And g of x equals x squared plus 1. X squared plus 1. And now we can simply put in what they're asking us. G of f of 1 minus 2. So g of f of 1 minus 2. And we get the answer of 10. Just double check that it all matches. Yes, we can put in 10 for our answer, which is the equation on the line. Here we have a negative slope. We go through the origin, and now we need to find rise over run. We have a grid intersection at the origin and a grid intersection right here. We can see that we rise 3 down and then across 2. That's negative 3 over 2 for the slope. So C is the correct answer. Alright, we are given an equation here and we are trying to isolate the A variable. How we can get A by itself, we can first subtract Vt from each side. That means we have x minus v initial velocity times time equals 1/2 at squared. To get the a by itself, we divide each side by 1/2, which is the same as multiplying this expression by 2. And we can divide by t squared as well. We are looking for something that matches this expression right here, which is answer choice C matches that. On to our next question. We have a systems of equations. We can once again just type this into Desmos. However, there is an easier way here. We can notice that if we multiply this equation by 4, we get an exact replica of this equation up here. That means that they are the same line and there are infinitely many solutions. Okay, a circle shown has a sector with an area of 24 over 5 pi and a central angle of 192 and 192. What is the area of the circle? First, let's find the ratio of central angle to actual angle, which is 192 divided by 360. Now we get 0.553, so we have to divide 360 by, we have to multiply Here we're going to actually take 360 and divide it by 192, so that's 1.875, and that is the factor that we are going to multiply 24 over 5 pi by to get the area of the actual circle compared to the area of just a sector. So 1.875 times 24 over 5 is equal to 9, so the area of the circle is just 9 pi, or answer choice B here. Okay, we have a table. The table summarizes the results of a survey given in 2014 to 8,000 randomly selected undergraduates at a university regarding what they use as a primary consumer. Which of the following statements are true? About 1 in 3 in the survey use a tablet as their primary computer. So tablet as primary computer for total students in a survey. So tablet is right here. We need to divide that number by 8,000, see if it's close to 1/3. So 2,652 divided by 8,000 is 0.335, which is about correct. So the 1 is correct. The fraction of first-year students that use tablets as their primary computer is less than the fraction of third-year students that use tablets for their primary computer. So we're going to divide each of these ratios and then compare them. 879 divided by 1,873 is 0.469, and then 903 divided by 2,891 is 0.31. So actually the fraction of first year students is more than the fraction of the third year students. The statement 2 is incorrect. Now statement 3, about 34% of the students who reported using a desktop at their primary as their primary computer were third year students. So students that reported using a desktop, and a third of that was supposed to be third year students. We're going to go ahead and divide 842 by 2,449, and that gets 0.43, which is about 34%. So that means statements 1 and 3 are correct here. Okay, we have what looks to be an exponential relationship doubling every 10 minutes. So that's all we have to say here. We increase by approximately the same factor. We multiply this by 2 every 10 minutes. On to our next question. What is the value of x? We need to use special triangles here. Since this angle is 30 and these are similar, that means that this angle is also 30. So the 30 degrees opens up to the x side. So usually this 30, 60, 90 triangle works such as this, where we have something along the lines of this, where x, and this is the 30 degree, it opens up onto the x, and then we can multiply the x by 2 to find the length of the hypotenuse. That's all we're going to do here. 6 times the square root of 3 times 2 is 12 times square root of 3. That means answer choice D is correct. Okay, 0 equals pi over 2 radians, which shows this measure in degrees. After doing calculus and pre-calculus, you kind of just know these automatically. Pi over 2 radians is just 90 degrees, because remember 2 pi is 360 degrees. A fourth of that, 1/2 is a fourth of 2. That's going to be a fourth of 360, which is 90. Okay, we have the length of a minor arc, 28 over 9, 28 pi over 9, and x equals 80. What is the area of the shaded region? So first let's find the circumference of the circle by doing something that we did before. We do 360 divided by 80 to get that ratio, and we do 28 over 9 times 4.5, which is what we just got. 28 over 9 times 4.5. So the circumference of the circle is 14 pi, and then we can set that equal to 2 pi r, which when we divide it out, we get r equals 7. So now we can find the area of the circle and then the area of the shaded region. So the area of the circle is pi r squared, so that's just 49 pi. Now we're going to multiply 49 pi by 80 over 360. So 49 times 80 divided by 360 is equal to 10.888. which is approximately equivalent to answer choice C here, because 98 divided by 9 is 10.888. Okay, on to our next question. Sweet Treats Candy Company wants to introduce a new flavor of jelly bean. They have 3 choices, mango, papaya, and coconut. They decide to do flavor, determine which flavor their consumers prefer. a survey to determine which flavor the consumers prefer. Customers. All customers tried a free sample. Okay. 55% preferred mango, 20% preferred papaya, 25% preferred coconut. Okay. Most people in the world, that's a generalization that we can't prove. 55% of all jelly bean eaters, that doesn't make sense either. 55% of all customers who shopped at Sweet Street store during the sampling period. This is an easy answer here. Yep. Answer choice C is the only conclusion that we can make based off of the statements. A charging station can only charge cell phones and laptops. Cell phones use approximately 3 joules per second when charging, and laptops use approximately 40 joules per second when charging. Which of the following equations represents the relationship between number of cell phones? C, number of laptops that can be charged when the station's output is exactly 160 joules per second. So we set up the equation like this. 160 is joules per second is equal to 40 joules per second L plus 3C. And now we can go ahead and isolate the C variable from this position. We can subtract C from both sides. 100, oh, actually, instead of doing that, we can subtract 40L from both sides. So we just left with 3C equals negative 40L plus 160. And now we can divide every term by 3. So that gets C equals negative 40 over 3L plus 160 over 3, which matches answer choice B perfectly. That is the correct answer here. On to our last question. All we have to do is FOIL this out. X times x is x squared. 4 times x is 4x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. And 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 4x minus 3x is x, so it's x squared plus x minus 12. Answer choice B is correct. That was all 30 questions done in 21 minutes. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and enjoyed going through this SAT math review journey with me. I wish all of you the best of luck on the test, especially on that math section. I know you guys are going to do great, and have a great day tomorrow. You guys got this. Goodbye.